Okay, I know it's been a while since I've uploaded. I know One Punch Man and One Piece and everything came out last week. I've been really busy with work and I've been ill and not up to 100%. I'm feeling better now, I'm past most of the illness, so now I'm going to actually review stuff again. Hooray. One Punch Man. I don't know the number. Put the number there, of course. The long road uphill, or the road uphill, was good, don't get me wrong. And I just feel like, in my opinion, it wasn't like a normal chapter. The fight was good. Okay, so obviously a majority of this chapter was Genos versus Goro. And don't get me wrong, the fight was really good. And I liked it a lot because it wasn't necessarily growth as characters, but we got to see them grow as fighters. And that is something, especially with Genos in this chapter. Of course, well, both of them, Goro and Genos, just grew in this fight. Oh, we got to see how they've grown over the course of the series. And it's really good to see this. But it didn't feel as tense as a normal One Punch Man fight does. Because it's either, hey, here's a hero against this person we've never met before. Oh, this is interesting, let's see how it goes down. Or there's no tension at all because it's Saitama versus someone and you know how it's going to end. But it didn't feel as tense. I would have been more excited for this fight. I was excited anyway, but I feel like, looking at it, I would have been more excited because if Goro was at peak as well. Because obviously Goro's just fought all the A-class heroes. He's tired, he's worn out. You know, and then Genos has literally arrived in his prime and he's like, let's do this. It's not really that fair of a fight. So, yeah, that's probably my reason I didn't feel the tension as much. But it was good, don't get me wrong. I loved so much of this too. Like when it starts off at the beginning, and then so Goro's having to evade everything. Like Genos literally says, this guy is putting his all into evading me just so he can barely survive, and looking for an opportunity to counterattack at the same time. And like Genos recognizes at that point, you know, Goro is a real monster, you know. Well, not like a real monster, but he's like, you know, I can see why he's such a big threat to the Hero Association. But that moment, but Genos' moments were excellent in this as well. I loved it. So like when Genos was firing the Incinerate Blast at him, and then Goro jumps in front of glasses. The moment Genos, he goes to fire, he recognizes it, pulls it back, machine gun blow, boom, 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 and he just goes for it. I was like, yes, I love machine gun blow. It's my favorite Genos attack. It's really cool. So whenever I get to see it, I always enjoy it. And then like Goro immediately, pretty much afterwards, he has to, because he can't dodge them, he's like, I have to try, and then he realizes very quickly, I can't dodge these all. So he has to start using the water flow and rock crushing fist, because he has to straight away use his last resort. Sure, he's on his last legs as it is, but at the same time, he uses the thing he hates because that's how dangerous Genos is. Like, he hates using that style because it reminds him of Bang. But at the same time, he doesn't have a choice because of how dangerous Genos is. And at the same time, later on in the chapter, Gaara comments on how dangerous Genos is. He's like, you know, if I get up close to him, he uses those heat blasts without a moment's notice. And he's just, not only is he's as strong as Tank Top Master is, but his speed is nothing to snuff at either. And that was great as well. Like, that moment, like, Genos went down, Goro went to take him on, just straight away, like, fires an Incinerate up into the sky, and then Goro's like, he tried to get me out, that bastard, and then Genos just gets up. He's the goddamn Terminator these days. He just gets up, dun 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 dun. Oh my god, Genos is doing really well, and this is why I'm talking about his growth as a fighter, because he's literally, like, through his experiences, he talks about it a bit later on in the chapter, I'll get onto that bit in a bit, well, I'm just talking about it now, I love how he's gone, you know, surprise attacks won't catch me off guard anymore. I have to train my body and mind as a hero. I grow stronger every fight I lose. In a way, Genos is like the saying, because every time he gets wrecked, he comes back with stronger upgrades. He gets more and more powerful each time, and it's great. Then we go to Saitama and King. That was a funny little moment, wasn't it? It was just those guys playing games, and you know, Saitama was bragging like, you're on a minuscule of health, there's no way you can win now. I will not let you make another comeback. KO! And Saitama was just pissed off, and then King's like, hey, I tried to give you a good fight, but this isn't really what I wanted. I'm not going to lose to you, though. And then that's the problem with King, is he's trying to help out Saitama, but he can't because he refuses to lose at the same time. And that's good, don't get me wrong, that's the only way Saitama's ever going to get his fight. But he needs to find someone equal to him. Saitama's not at that level, and you know, he's like, I can make you borrow the console. And it cuts to his face, like, fuming, grinding his teeth, like, I don't think I can do a game, and it's too stressful. It was a good Saitama moment. And then King's beeper goes off, and we get this moment with And he's like, oh, what's that? It's like, oh, it's a trial thing they're trying out. Basically, when monsters are in the area, they're giving it to top class heroes. We should go do, like, you know, let us know what's going on. Help signal, basically. And Saitama, he was already pretty annoyed today. He's like, let's go do it. I need to go beat up some monsters. And then King's like, there's no point. There's an S-class hero there already. It'll be over by the time we get there. And Saitama's just really annoyed and nowhere to let out his anger because he can't beat King. He's got no one strong enough to face him. And then King just starts talking to him like, oh, that pile of monsters you beat up the other day. That's a sanitary issue. Maybe you should. That's not good for this area. And then Saitama's like, Genos will clear up. He's like, it's been a while since you've seen Genos. Is he going to be okay? And that moment's like, that was the funniest bit of the chapter. Saitama's like, he was annoyed, but then he was like, Genos is fine, it's Genos. And he's just thinking about all the times. It would have only been better if it was just like a few different times Genos has been beaten up and wounded. He's like, we should probably go find him. Let's go. So, here's the thing as well, so Saitama's on his way, so, of course, we know by the end of the chapter, the odds, if they weren't already against Goro, they were against him last time. So, how he's going to get out of this, I have very few ideas about. But I'll talk about that afterwards, because, of course, I don't think Saitama's going to get there in time to meet Goro, because they're very much trying to keep those two separate from each other, and when they do, it's basically as a joke when they meet up, because he goes to attack him, Saitama bops him, and he just say, nah, he ain't taking him on. He ain't taking him on. But yeah. So, Saitama might show up after all of this happens, but anyway, I'll talk about that when I start talking about the end of the chapter. Anyway, so Goro's like, of course Goro was talking Goro was basically saying, you know, I can't beat this guy yet. But he's basically saying I'm not ready. In the situation I'm in, he's extremely dangerous. If even at full health, he'd be in a really dangerous situation. Because of Genos has just got the speed and he's got the heat blast more than anything, and he's on just a bit of a different level. Not too much of a different level, but Genos could beat Goro at this point in time, in my opinion. So, this is where Goro's a bit of a monster too. So Goro tries to escape, and Genos is like, don't bother, you know, just give up. Genos isn't like, he's not angry with him, he's just like, just give up. We have bigger problems now. Give up and we'll sort you out. Goro, this is what I'm on about. Just from watching Watch Dogs Man's movements in that fight he had with him, he couldn't, like, he memorized them and used them because his legs were destroyed from these previous fights. And he's weaving through the trees left and right. It's just a different level. And it's really interesting to note at the same time. Well, at least just that, because Goro isn't a monster, but he is a monster. It's basically last chapter again, like, you know, he's growing, and he's consistently growing and growing as a fighter to become more dangerous. Like, if he was at peak health, I would still be concerned about Genos. Like, I think Genos would win if they were both at full health, but I'd still be like, Genos would be pretty badly beaten up afterwards. And he goes to do this, and then he loses track of Goro for an instant, and Genos has his arm, and he grabs Genos' arm, and he's like, give me paw. And he yanks it off and is like, Genos, no! If you lose this fight where you have it handed to you over and over again, like, you are in peak condition, stronger than you've ever been before, Goro is badly beaten, sure, he's a monster fighter, but he is still in a condition where he can be beaten by you. I was really annoyed, and then that moment where Genos' arm, where he's like, oh, I'm so good at breaking arms, and then Genos grabs him with the arm that's been broken off and just like, boom, rockets him into a tree. I was so happy, because the amount of times Genos had his arms broken, beaten, shredded, everything bad. Now he's finally got something that his arms are strong against. Well, like, not basically a precaution in case his arms ever get torn off or lost. And that is great, because he's needed that since the beginning. And then Genos literally, he shoots like coils out of his arm as well, ties him to a tree, and he's like, we've got much bigger problems than a common thug like you. I saw in that speech where he's like, you know, we've got the Monster Association, everything like that. You're not our main concern at the moment. You are going to stop now. He's basically telling him off, and then Goro's still acting really cocky throughout this situation. He's like, well, you've got to help me, Demon Cyborg. You've got to show the world who I am. I'm the greatest villain the greatest monster the world has ever known. More than the Monster Association, feared by the heroes, none of you could take me on. And Genos is just like, I've had enough of this. Incinerate, he goes for it. Goro, to be fair, another bit of Goro literally breaks the tree that he's tied to, and it's not even like it's not a small tree or anything. It is like a giant tree. Snaps it in half and manages to dodge Genos' attack. That is impressive. It really is. It was good. It was a good fight between them. It really was. So that was it. So Goro literally tears the vines off the tree, like the cords that are tying him to the tree, throws the arm away, jumps on top of the building where the kid was before. Like, he's got blood all over him, so he like rinses, and his hair's in his face, so he rinses it off like that. And he's got like a bloodshot eye. Like, his hair is now dyed red with his blood. And that's when he gave that speech of like, you know, the monsters and heroes all fear me. I am the greatest monster the world has ever known. And that's when Genos just goes, like, he gets his arm back. That's another great thing about Genos. He's now got an upgrade, so his arm will literally come back to him. Genos literally just snaps his arm back, goes, there are no monsters here. I love that moment. It was really good. And then, at that point, like, the ground starts crumbling, and the but literally, just after, like, there's no monsters here. Protect the hero hunter! Like, a massive group of monsters, well, not massive, like, about 6 or 7 monsters come out and start attacking Genos from underground, and then another one, a plant monster, comes up, and he's like, you know, once again, the Monster Association wants to protect you. You're very valuable. You're one of us. You're not on the side you're not on the side of the humans. Come work for us. You know, we want to make you a top executive. My boss wants to make you a top executive. And Goro very quickly just kind of goes, nah, forget it, man. I don't want to be with you. Even in this situation, he's got his pride about him. And you'd think, at this point, to survive and become the greatest monster, this is what he should do. He'd be like, okay, yeah, sure. Even if he doesn't mean it that much, he could have benefited from it anyway and gone, yeah, sure, I'll do that. But then at least I respect that he's got his pride, but look at the situation you're in, sure. And I thought, oh, this is how he's going to get away. The monsters are going to hold off Genos while Goro goes away with them. And, you know, maybe he'll eat a monster cell, become a monster. Then, all of a sudden, the monsters are down, Goro's like, poof! And I love that panel where, like, you can even see his eye, like, when eye lines are like that, it's cool. And Genos slices the monster, because now he's got a goddamn blade in his arm as well. I remember, I talked about it a few chapters ago, the idea of Genos getting, like, a blade. It was around the time, I think it was around the time he fought Goketsu, like, before Saitama was about to fight Goketsu. I can't remember why. I think it was me, if not, it was one of you guys in the comments. If it was you who mentioned to me, like, a few months ago about Genos getting a blade or something, let me know. If it was me, good job me! Yay, me! Round of applause for me. Yeah, that's enough, not that much. I think just because only, like, don't get me wrong, his arms are his main fighting style, but he just needs a bit more in his legs, just something there. Like, he's got the glue, don't get me wrong, but something, just a bit more to help him out. I don't know what, like an attack or something like that. Even just rockets in his legs. If he can fly, it's a massive bonus to Genos. But yeah, and that instantly takes him down and he gives that speech. And he's just like, you know, I've grown, I'm not going to get taken down by surprise attacks, basically. I love that. It was just Genos telling us, I'm not the same person I was yesterday. I'm stronger. I'm always growing stronger, and this is what my master Saitama wanted. And he's like, surprise attacks no longer affect me. I was like, yes, Genos. Because the amount of times he's been taken down by surprises of, like, not being ready, or just stuff like that, he's getting better. And I love that about Genos, because the boy needs some wins. He has them, but then he always ends in a loss, and it's not what we want. Sure, that's the point. Genos gets defeated, Saitama rolls up and punches, and that's the story. But I like Genos. He deserves some wins, at the very least. But this was my favourite moment of the chapter. When Goro goes, Master Saitama. He knows the name now. He knows the name now. He's got a name now of the One Punch Man. Oh boy! That was... And then Genos, I was just happy because finally he's going to know about Saitama. Not in great detail, and I don't think he's really going to, like, pester it, or this might be in the back of his head. You know, he's like, there's a guy this guy considers to be his master. I wonder who it is. But I think at the same time, he'll be like, whatever, kind of thing. And because he'll be focused on Goro Monster and the S-Class Heroes, and he'll be like, maybe that's the name of a real S-Class hero, or something like that. And then maybe he'll even question Bang about it. He's like, who's this Saitama? And then he'll be like, and then if Bang's even like, truly the strongest man alive. If something like that was to happen, that'd be amazing. But he doesn't know, he's already met him twice, and he's lost to him twice. Oh boy. But I'm just glad he's got a name now, because I think they'll be interesting when he's like, what's your name? He's like, so you're Master Saitama. I just think it's going to be good. I don't know, it just made me happy finally. It's getting a bit more of a connection between Saitama and Goro. That made me happy. So Genos, of course, had really taken down everyone. Goro is still not giving up. And and basically he's like, goodbye, Hero Hunter. Charges up the Incinerate. Before he can take him down, Bang basically saves him by beating him up. Because he kicks him, and then Bang shows up with his brother. I can't remember his brother's name, unfortunately. Put it down here, Matt, if they've mentioned his name. I don't think they probably have. And he's like, sorry, Genos, please leave this to us. This is our matter. And then another monster shows up, and then Bang's brother, ooh, I like his martial art. They're both monsters. They really are. And it was great seeing a bit of these two, because these two are arguably the two strongest martial artists in the series. And it's only because we don't know, obviously, we wouldn't know who would win in a fight against, like, I don't know, the top martial artists are Bang, his brother, Goro, Suiryu. They're like the top. And there's still probably other humans we haven't met yet that are on that level. But at the same time, it was just really interesting to see Bang's brother, who should, in theory, be stronger just because of the older brother trope. And then, yeah, the older sibling trope that they have. And then, when he was like iron-cutting, murderous fist, boom, and then he slices that monster into circles. Oh my god! Okay, he's strong. That's cool. And then we have that showdown with, and then basically his older brother's holding off. He's like, Bang, I'll hold him off. You're half monsters. You tend to Goro. And we have that showdown. He's like, it's been a while, Goro. And he's like, well, there isn't the old man I hate so much. And here's what I think, and then I love that showdown. It was tense, like Goro beating up, bruised, but still ready to fight, not giving in. And then you've got like the silent, calm master, like who's having to take down his own student, not necessarily because he likes it, but because he has to. Because I imagine he probably holds some respect, or he likes Goro to an extent still, you know. Otherwise, like, he beat him up before and kicked him out for all the things Goro did. But at the same time, Goro was his top student, right? I believe Goro's his top student before, because obviously he's a genius fighter at the very least. It was just really interesting to see Goro, you know, and Bang, basically that showdown. It was tense. It was basically like a Western showdown, or any kind of old, like, final showdown. Like, you know, it's tense, the music's gone, there's no sound anywhere, and they just take the stances. Goro lunges at him, and Bang immediately is just like, water-flowing, rock-crushing fist. Boom, 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 boom. And that's where the chapter ends, with Goro basically being defeated by Bang. Now, what's going to happen next? Probably unsure. I think, here's the thing, Goro's been slowly changing over the course of this chapter. I wouldn't have probably guessed this until, basically someone mentioned it to me a while ago in the comments. I'll have to put your name down below, because I'm ill, and sure I'm not good with names, but I'm not good with this at the moment. Basically, it was a few chapters ago when Goro fought Saitama again, and Saitama kicked him through the wall, and they went, look at Goro's body shape in there. And it's true, his hair is sticking out. Like, his hair made a solid dent through the wall, and unless he's using some really strong hair gel, that's not normal. And sure, it might be for comedy, true, but still, it's not fully normal. And with the way he's looking now, his hair's gone red, like, especially that last panel, which is why I didn't talk about it just then, is because when he's a full-on, like, he looks like a monster leaping. So, isn't it right that monsters unlock their form, like, through, like, great stress or anger, something along those lines? Like, whenever someone becomes a monster, it tends to be at the point of they can't, like, they've given up on basically being human, they want to be a monster, and they've got their own ambitions when they're pushed into a dark, dark part of their lives, and they're happy to give up on who they are to become a monster. So, maybe, I think Goro's probably going to get his monster form next time. It makes sense. Well, we're coming to the end of the year as well. Maybe, and then he'll escape with, or if not, maybe before something like that happens, I think one of the top executives is going to show up and basically get Goro out of there and defeat maybe Genos and Bang, possibly? Possibly. I'm not 100% on that. Because Saitama's going to show up. Maybe even Saitama will get to face a top executive, which would be fantastic. Because then the top executive, oh, I beat these two S-Class, who's this nobody? I can't let him live because he's seen me. And then he'll go, boom, and Saitama will be like, boom. Or maybe he'll run away because King's with him. And then he'll be like, I'm not ready to face you yet, King. Or your little sidekick. And then he's like, sidekick? What are you on about? That'd be a good ending, actually. If they start thinking Saitama's King's sidekick, oh, that'd be good. That'd be top. Yeah. I'm L. Thank you for watching. I'm L. Please like. I'm L. Why do I keep repeating this? If you want to talk about One Punch Man, comment down below, because I like talking about One Punch Man too. If you like this video, give it a like, because I like it when people like my stuff. And subscribe if you want to see more One Punch Man, because I should be better for next time. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys.